guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you for joining me, guys. Hopefully you're doing well. Today we're going to go over three, I guess, kind of advanced builds for certain specific type of kind of niche roles to really take your teams to the next level. Now, a lot of this is going to be about arena, but not exclusively. Going to touch on some kind of ways that you can build a campaign farmer, touching on a couple of these, or at least one of these three kind of advanced builds as well. So let's go ahead and start out here. I'm going to use three examples. They are going to be two legendaries and one epic champion, but of course you can use this on whatever, your nuker is, whatever your resist build is, and whatever your debuffer is on your specific team. So let's start with nuker, right? So let's go to Little Miss Annie. Now, she's not a traditional nuker. She's a single target damage dealer, and she's not the best in the game, although I'm trying to force, that round peg or square peg into the round hole, right? And trying to make her amazing because I was so excited when I pulled her, but now it's just like, yeah, I don't know. She needs a couple changes. If anybody's curious as to what those are, at least I think she needs to prioritize Playdate, her A3 instead of her A2 Hollow Doll. Also, if you wanted to give her a buff, I think that when she comes back with Toys Don't Die, comes back to life when revived, I think she should auto into Hollow Doll instead of Pretty Nails. But we'll see if Plarium ever does that. But I think that would make her, exceptional, but not overpowered. Anyway. Going on here, how to build a nuker for the end game for arena and for campaign farming. Now, everybody watching right now, no matter who your campaign farmer is, as long as they're faster than Lord Shazar on 12-3, you should run them with attack percentage boots. That should be easy for anybody to do. To get them faster, I think it's 103. It's low speed. So every campaign farmer should be in attack percentage boots. Okay, what about arena? What about dungeons? So dungeons, a lot of people opt for speed on their boots. Basically, this video, by the way, is themed around attack percentage in the boots, accuracy on the chest, and resist on the chest, like when to use those gear pieces, okay? So attack on the boots for nukers. Now, unfortunately, this is a 50% attack here on the boots. Ideally, it would be 6 stars. I don't have any 6-star crit rate attack percentage boots on the account. So when to go with this? Number one is your nuker is usually the slowest or second slowest person on your arena team. Now, for dungeons, you usually get, we consider the speed boots helps the, the nuker go more often, and overall, over a long, prolonged battle, they're going to do more damage if they're actually faster. But in the arena, for example, in the campaign, they're going to one-shot everybody, right? And in the arena, well, ideally, your nuker's only going 1 or 2 times and killing everybody. So it's not a long attack, so we just want that boom burst of damage. That's why we make that trade-off from speed to attack percentage. So attack percentage on the boots, 9 times out of 10, when you go attack percentage on the boots, you want to go ahead and make sure, because you're kind of gearing towards end game gear, you want to go ahead and have crit damage also on your gauntlets on these champions, and attack percentage also on their chest. So this is a very traditional kind of middle row, as you would see in endgame nuker. Attack percentage on the boots, attack percentage on the chest, and crit damage on the gauntlets. Now, a very important piece of gear that you should always keep an eye out for is attack percentage boots with crit rate substat, right? Because you know that you're going to have, on anybody that you put attack percentage boots on, you're going to be looking for crit rate substats on all of your gear, because you know you're just going to build them all out nuked, and that will also kind of predicate going with crit damage on the gauntlets. Does that make sense to you guys? So I want to give a quick caveat, though. Even in Platinum Tier Arena, I would say it's 60-40, 50-50. It's very close to people still running speed on their boots. It's not you have to do this. This is to get the most bang for your buck out of that one burst damage. Some people still opt to put their Trundas, for example, in speed boots. So it's really up to the user. If you think you can one-shot everybody, even with speed on the boots, you're better off going speed. If you think you need that extra punch to make sure you kill everybody, especially those strong defensive teams, well then in those cases, obviously, you go attack percentage with crit damage. Either way, they're probably going to be going last, your nuker on your arena team. So at the end of the day, you can make that trade-off, especially if you have a CC champion going ahead of them, stunning or putting to sleep or freezing the opponents, okay? So there's a couple kind of ways to go about this. Obviously, always be thinking about your team, your overall team synergy, right? How are you setting the table for your nuker? And just make sure that the opponent can't cut in line. So in terms of accessories on your kind of all-out nuker, well, in terms of artifact sets, obviously crit rate, crit damage, savage, and cruel gear are going to be kind of your 4 go-tos for your arena nuker, for your campaign nuker for that matter as well. In terms of accessories, almost always going to be going attack, ideally with attack percentage too. That's a really nice ring. I didn't even realize I had that on her. Attack, crit damage, and you guessed it, attack. Okay, so getting a good amount of speed from your banner is also going to be advantageous because banners are a great source for speed, obviously, and you're going to need a little bit extra speed because you're going to generally be on the slower side because of those attack percentage boots. So that's kind of an idea of how you can build an arena nuker, a campaign nuker, and if you want to experiment with it, dungeon nuker. However, again, I personally would make that trade-off and choose a faster dungeon nuker as opposed to a whatever 6,000 speed or 6,000 attack, excuse me, dungeon nuker. So that is an end game kind of attack percentage nuker build. Let's go to a resist build. So Siphi the Lost Bride. So who is best to put into a high resist build? You can see her overall, and you guys know that power is actually predicated it's weighed very heavily on resist and crit rate, especially resist. So 589 resist on my Siphi. This is an arena exclusive build. Of course, I can still use my Siphi. Same thing with Madame Saris, who's going to be the last champion we talk about today. Of course, you can use them anywhere, but it's, there's no reason to build up a dungeon debuffer or a dungeon resist champion to 600. There's just no reason for it, or 500, 600. You get diminishing returns at about 250, so you're good on that accuracy, especially for dungeons. However, again, with Siphi here, why is she in a high resist where a champion like Krisk, for example, who's also on the same arena team, is not super high in resist? He's all right, but he's not super high. Well, the answer is because Siphi has block debuffs. Putting a block debuff champion, a champion with that buff, in high resist gear is going to be important, and then building them fast. So ideally, Siphi, or whoever your block debuffs person is going to be going first, going to be resisting any hegemons, going to be resisting any torments, going to be resisting any crowd control of the opponent. If they do go first, they'll resist it. That's good. That's what you want to have happen, right? And then after that, they're going to put the block debuffs up on all of your allies. So it's important that it's most important that your block debuffs buffer is in high resist. That way they can resist anything, and then they can go ahead and get that buff on everybody else. That way you don't have to build your entire team out with, 500-600 resist. That's kind of ridiculous, So what I do is, and I run her in lead too, so I have an extra 80 resist as well from her aura. So we're rocking, I didn't even know what it was. So we're rocking, very, very close to 700 resist on our Siphi, and she's resisting pretty much everything inside the arena because nobody's really running an accuracy lead, aura lead in the arena. So again, let's talk about artifacts here. So we talked about, what type of champion you should be looking out for in terms of resist. Obviously, just like our debuffer, resistance banner and resistance chest kind of go hand in hand, right? Because you can go, I think I might have, not with Krisk, but you can go kind of one or the other. Like on Valkyrie, for example, who I kind of, sub in and out this team. I'll run her with a resist banner, but a defense on her chest. So I'm kind of half in, half out. And that's okay for a lot of champions, especially if you have them on a team that's high defense, high resist, like, Siphi being the team lead. So you really want your if you're going to go all out resist like I have with Siphi here, you really want, a few things. Number one is you want the Unshakable Mastery to get an extra 50 resist. It's a great tier 6 mastery for the arena specifically. And then on top of that, obviously the banner and the chest. So those are like the trifecta of high resist. And we're going to talk about the same thing in a second with accuracy, okay? So resist on the chest, resist on the banner, and that's just going to get you really, really high. Now, a really nice source of resistance stats is your amulet too, so always keep an eye out for defensive HP-based amulets that have resist, and if you can get a couple rolls on them as well, it's a great kind of source of resistance as well. Other than that, kind of just looking for resist on all the gear that I put on her, and of course, I'm prioritizing speed as well. You can see I have 2 speed sets and 1 resist set on my Spiky, and her total speed is pretty fast. It's 249. Granted, it's not lightning fast. She's not going to beat a lot of arbiters out there. Most arbiters out there are going to be faster than her, but still, she's going to be able to resist most everything the enemy team can throw at her. So that's kind of a resist build, guys, and that would be a case where you would want to use resistance on your chest. All right, let's talk about the third build in today's video, and that is going to be debuffer build. And again, guys, I have to kind of state it again. This is for arena, man. You don't need, 600 accuracy on a non-arena champion. So this is Madame Ceres. So if I wanted to go all out accuracy, I would have obviously 3 perception sets on her, or 3, accuracy sets on this champion. Just like we talked about with Spiky in having Unshakable, it's important to have Eagle Eye, which is a plus 50 accuracy, tier 6 mastery in the support tree on your debuffer for the arena especially, to get that accuracy as high as humanly possible. So in terms of, same thing that we talked about with Spiky, right? Accuracy on the chest, accuracy on the banner, and then Eagle Eye, the trifecta of high accuracy. So again, not going to be caring about this high of accuracy in dungeons, but stacking up that accuracy as high as possible. The only thing that you need to look out for when building your debuffer for the arena is to make sure that they're faster, obviously, than your nuker, faster than your damage dealers, because you don't want them going after your damage dealers. You also don't want them to be CC'd. You don't want them to be frozen. You don't want them to be, whatever, stunned, whatever. So it's very important that you either put them in an immunity set, or you have a block buffs type champion going before that, or, and this will apply to most of you, you're just selective about what you choose. You don't want to be going against Torments if you have no strategy to go against them, right? You want to make sure that you're going to be immune, you're not going to get frozen, because having your debuffer, especially in Madame Ceres' case, where she has Midnight Ritual, which removes all buffs from enemies, that's really important. Just as important, if not more, than the decreased defense in this ability in the arena is removing all buffs from all enemies. Take away all those shields. It's really, really, really effective. So that's kind of, again, I feel like we could belabor the points here, but hopefully I articulated 3 kind of advanced builds for you guys. And again, the immunity set, really helpful, or 3 perceptions if you want to avoid those hegemons, those Torments, and those CC champions that could go before her inside the arena. I hope you enjoyed this video. Going to be a quick kind of guide to 3 different builds that you guys want to think about kind of transitioning your gear towards as you progress inside Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have a great day, great weekend, great whenever you're watching this video. And as always, take care, guys.